Hi guys, I'm going to do a Makume Gane today just because I want to, and just because I actually did this one and posted pictures in my group. Whoops, I just knocked my microphone, hang on a sec. Posted pics in my group, and yes, it's a Makume Gane, but people wanted to know how I did it, so I like to please, so here I go. So I've rolled some Premo black onto a number 3. This is going to be my backing clay, so that's just going to get put to one side. 0 is the thickest setting on my Atlas 150 pasta machine. And I've rolled out another strip of black clay. Again, Premo, these are all Premo, and these are all rolled onto number 3. So they're all approximately the same size. So I've got black, I've got rose gold glitter, pearl, and white gold glitter. But let me think what order I want to do them in. Yeah, this order I think. I don't suppose it matters a great deal, but this is how I did it the first time. So they're the colours. Obviously I'll need some cutters, and I'm going to be using these ones, and I'm in love with this heart shape at the moment. So I'm using that one and then this one as well. Oops, all my cutters are from Oh Joy Creations. I will leave a link in the description. And some texture sheets or stamps. I'm using these. I might not use all of them, but I've got them all out just in case. Now these are stamps of stamps, and they're, apart from this one, I've had this one for ages, and I don't think you can find it on Amazon anymore. But just to show you what I mean, you can get those little acrylic flower stamps that you put on a block and then press into your clay. Well, I've done a stamp of a stamp. So the raised parts are the other way, if that makes sense, from deboss to emboss, or whichever way it goes. So I've just made some stamps of some little acrylic flower stamps. So I'm going to be using some of those, and then there's a bigger one there as well. But whatever you want to use, obviously if you want it to look like this, then you're going to have to use flower stamps of some kind. But all I'm going to do then is stack black on top of the rose gold on top of the white gold, and the white gold on top of the pearl. As simple as that. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a quick press, make sure it's stuck together. And I think I am going to just tidy it up a little bit, just so it's a little bit more equal. Like, see, that's a little bit narrower, so I am just going to trim that away. I will use those bits, they can be separated and used. Just tidy this up a bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, but okay. So you've got a strip like this, well, a long block. I am going to cut it one time in half, and it's difficult to see in half when you've got a camera right in front of your nose, so it's going to be a guess. And then restack, and that's as much as I'm going to stack it, but this does need to be rolled back out fairly thin, so I'm going to give it a roll, and then I'm going to pass it through my pasta machine and roll it down to a number 1, which is the second thickest setting. So I'm just rolling it so it's thin enough to be passed through. I don't want to break my machine. I don't want it to get too square. I want it to be a longer, you know, strip. So I'm just giving it a push in as I do that, and that should be good to go through my pasta machine. So I'm just going to take this down to a number 1. I won't go off camera. I'm still here. What I mean is I'm not going to stop recording, and I'm just taking this down to a number 1. So you are going to be left with quite a long strip. Okay, and in actual fact you can just do it like that. You don't have to keep it in a long strip. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a quick roll to make sure it's firmly stuck to my tile. And I'm going to get one of my flower stamp of a stamp. I'm going to give it a little wipe with a wet wipe just to dampen it a little bit. And I'm just going to simply press it on my clay. This is what they call a controlled Makume Gane. You are controlling it more rather than just putting random patterns in a stack, you know, when you do the blocks. This is what they call a controlled Makume Gane, which I think is probably one of my favourite techniques, to be honest. And as simple as it is, you always get really nice results, in my opinion. So I really am making sure that's going in nice and deep. And I'm praying this will lift off without tearing, which it did, because I dampened it first. Okay. So, I mean, I'm just going to do it individual like that. So that can be one, and then we've still got these to play with as well. But just for now, I'll work on this one. And then you need a blade, obviously. And you're just going to start taking very, very thin shavings. And this top layer is going to be used. So you've got a very thin shaving. It's very delicate, but I want to use that in the piece. So I'm going to keep that. And I'm going to take some more off here. And this does take a little bit of practice getting it thin, but just go steady with it. And there's another piece. And we've still got a few more little raised areas, so I am just going to get those, but I'm going to get some of the colours that are underneath as well. So now we've got this as well, which, let's just get rid of some of this. You can either keep that as is and turn it into a pendant, or you can keep shaving down, but I think I am actually just going to leave that. So this one can be a pendant all on its own. It's so pretty, look. So there's that one, but I've also got these shaved bits. So I'm kind of showing you what you can do with the shaved off bits, or if you just want to leave it like that. Okay. This looks a bit dirty. Just give this a press down again. Make sure it's firmly stuck on my tile. Let's try a different flower this time. Let's go with, let's try this one. Again, I'm just going to give it a damp down with my wet wipe. And I'm going to press that in there. I like to use my fingers to start with, make sure it's on there good, and then I do like to use my roller, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Some people don't feel comfortable doing that. So I'm just getting that in as deep as I can. And then once again, pray that it lifts up. There we go. Right. I'm going to try and get this whole flower off, just that very top thin layer of it. I want to try and keep it whole. So really what I'm showing you is Makume Gane, but you know how you can kind of mess around with it to get different looks. So there's that one. Not sure if I'm keen on that. I might have gone down a bit too deep on that one, I think, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that back down there and just try and salvage this a little bit, because I really just wanted the thinnest layer. It's okay, we'll see. So I'm not keen on that one then. It's still pretty, I'll put it there, but I'm not keen on that particular flower. It didn't imprint as well as this one. So that I'm just going to use for scrap or a background or something, but we've still got this bit left. So which one did I just use? I don't want to use the same one. Let's try this one. I'm just playing around really and just getting different, you know, little pieces together. But I really love this colour combination as well, and I think that's what people wanted to see as much as anything else. So I'm using this one, and I'm not sure, I wasn't able to find this. It came out of a pack of those little red, you got a set of red square acrylic stamps, and I can't find them, but I'm using it because I like it. So same thing, I'm just going to try and get very thin slices. Oops, again that's pretty. It fell to pieces a little bit, but it's pretty, and I can use those. Actually, yeah, they're a bit too flimsy, so I'll try again on this side. And like I say, it does take practice, and I don't know if you can see, but I've got my blade slightly curved upwards as I go along, and kind of shimmy it along underneath that surface. So there's another piece. Let's see what's going on with this one. Now I think I'm just going to take off just a little bit just to tidy it up, and then use this as a pendant on its own. So just play around. Okay, so there's another one. So there's that one and that one, and we're going to use those as pendants as is, without taking any more off. And I think I'm going to leave it there. Obviously I could keep going because I've still got all of this, but I'm just going to show you a couple. Right, so I'm going to get my backing clay. I'm not going to use this piece because I'm not that keen on it, to be honest with you, so I'm just going to put that to one side. But the pieces that I do like, I'm going to use. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to grab some paper. Okay. So let me just move these out of the way quickly, so I've got some room. Right. So I'm going to work with some of these pieces, but not that one. Not quite sure why that flower didn't work out so well. I maybe didn't press it in deep enough, but it's no big deal. I'm happy with what I've got. But I am just going to give this a quick smooth. Right. So I'm going to take that first piece that I cut off, and I'm just going to gently, very gently, lay it down like this. Just give it a very gentle press, and then I'm going to take, oh I don't know, some of these pieces are really nice. I think I'm just going to place that there. Let me just see. Now it's just all about where you're going to place the pieces and what looks good. I'm not sure about that being there, so I'm going to take that off. So don't press it down too hard until you're happy with your arrangement. And do you know what? I'm taking this really tiny little piece, and I'm just going to pop it there. And I think that's all I'm going to do with that one. It's as simple as that. I just like that very open, simple look, but it does need a good burnish because it needs to be flush on that black clay. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let's give it a nice burnish. I'm just going to get my steel soap to help me. These are ideal for burnishing, and again you can find those in the description. I've got an Amazon storefront, I'll leave the link, and I've got a lot of products in there that I use in my videos. So that will be in the Amazon storefront, and the cutters are Oh Joy Creations, that's a separate link. So I'm just making sure this is nice and flush, and you can feel with your fingers it's still a little bit bumpy just here. So I'm just going to give that a press and a rub, like so. Okay, that's that for that pendant. That's all I want on that pendant, nothing else. And I'm going to give it a quick clean with some isopropyl alcohol. And there's a little bit of glitter in there, but I don't suppose that matters. There's a little speck of glitter just there. And I don't really want to pick it out because I don't want to leave a mark, so I think it's just going to be fine like that. And then I'm going to take my cutter and I'm going to place it where I think looks good. I hate cutting any of this away, to be honest. I suppose I could just do that. Oh, I don't know now. No, I'm going to do that because I want to leave quite a bit of this black showing. So I'm just going to place it there and cut it out. Always give your cutters a little bit of a wiggle. One of my biggest pet peeves is rough edges. I can't stand it. I think it looks so unprofessional. I always like to try and make sure my edges are nice and tidy, and giving the cutter a little wiggle helps with that. And any obviously rough edges that might be left, sand them off. It just makes it look a little bit more professional, in my opinion. Righty ho then. So I've still got a few of these pieces, and I'm just going to pop this bit up there. Now I'm using this heart, so I'm thinking something like that. So that's going to be at the bottom, and I think, do you know what, I need my blade for that instead of trying to pick it up with my fingers, because I'm just going to squash it. So I'm going to take this piece and I'm just going to put that there. A little bit broke off, but no worries. Not that cutter, my heart cutter. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Right, another good old burnish, but I suppose I really should move this other one out of the way before I do that. I don't want to knock it. So I'm just going to put that there. So that's the first one. I really like that. It came out pretty nice. Now I need more paper, don't I? So same thing. Just give it a jolly good burnish, as I like to say. Feel with your fingers. You can feel where it's still a little bit lumpy, like there's still a bit bumpy. So I'm just going to go back over that. I think that's good. So that's that piece. There's a few little crumblies on this. Okay, so same thing. Now I don't know where to go with this one. Let me just lift it, guys, so I can see better. I think I'm going to go, no. Yeah, I think I'm going to go there with this one. Give it a good old press and a good wiggle. And that's the second piece. So there's that piece as well, which looks pretty nice. So there's the first two pieces. I'm just going to give them, I'm hoping that's going to come off because I think I burnished it quite a lot. I'll get that off later. I'm not going to worry about that now. Oops. So I'm just going to give these a quick clean with some isopropyl alcohol. There we go. I'm loving this first one especially. So there's that one and there's that one. So they need to be baked, obviously. So that's two. Now I've still got these little pieces left, but I'm not going to show you another one of those. So I'm just going to put these to one side. And I can use them for something, or I might not. I might just ball it up. I don't know yet. So back to this one then, which was that first flower that we pressed, shaved the top off, and then we were just left with this, and that's nice as is, just as a pendant on its own. I'm just going to re-roll some clay out because it needs a backing because it's a little bit thin now. And while I'm at it, actually, guys, while I'm thinking about it, somebody asked me the other day in my group, she has problems with trying to get the air bubbles out of clay, even when she pushes it through the pasta machine. She said she folded it like that, which is good. When you pass in your clay through the pasta machine, always put the folded end in first. So you're going to push it down like that. And that way, any air is going to be pushed out and it will escape through the top. But another thing you can do, which helps, is as you're passing it through, keep your fingers like this. So you're keeping this open edge open. Pass it through as far as you can go down before it hits your fingers, then let go and keep passing it through. And that eliminates even more air bubbles. It was just something I thought about, and I thought I'd share it with you. I did explain it to her, but you know, it's obviously better if you can actually show somebody. So if you're watching and I can't remember your name, sorry, that's what I was explaining to you earlier on today. So I'm just going to pass this through a few times because it's got a little bit of dirt in it, and I am taking it down to a 3 because I don't want an overly thick pendant because I've already got some thickness on this as it is. But you can make it as thick or as thin as you want to, guys. You don't have to do the same thicknesses as me. Okay, so I'm just going to put that on there, give it a roll so it's nice and stuck. And I'm rolling in different directions, as you can see, to try and keep that flower round rather than stretching it too much one way or the other. So that's why I'm doing that. Giving you a few little tips as I go along. And then this needs a good burnish as well. Now I've got to decide which cutter I'm using for this one. I'm actually thinking probably just a round one, guys, to be honest. So I can like incorporate that whole flower. Yeah, why not? So I'm just going to grab a round cutter. Now I've got this whole set of round cutters. Again, these are linked in my Amazon storefront. And I think I'm just going to go with this one. I am going to leave... Do I want the black down there or up there? I think I'm just going to go... I'm going to cut a little bit of the flower off, not much. Just, I've got a little bit of black showing. I just like that. That's just my personal taste. So there's just a hint of black showing on the edge there. So there's that one. Pendant number 3. Again, I'm just going to give it a little clean. Like so. I can see something on that that's going to bug me. I'm going to have to rub that until it goes. I think I've got it. Yeah, that's good. There we go, got it. Okay, so that's the third one. So we've got those 3 so far. And we still have one piece left, and I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. So I just need to re-roll my backing clay. Again, I'm rolling this onto a number 3. Okay. I'm just going to pop that on there. And this one looks a little bit rough from where I sliced it, so this really does need a good burnish. And I'm wondering whether just to take a few little slithers off this, just to smooth it out a bit. Yeah, that's better. And this bit here. There's not going to be any black showing on this one, so this is going to be as is. I'm just going to put that on there, give this another burnish. I'm pressing quite firm on this one because it needs quite a bit of smoothing out. Now I've got a few ideas in my head of what I want to do next. Excuse me, but sometimes I struggle knowing which one to do next. Not that it really matters, really, but sometimes I have to be in the mood to do a certain thing, if that makes sense. So when I'm like that, I kind of just revert to something like a Makume Gane, just to give my brain a break from thinking too much. So that's kind of why I've gone with this one today, apart from the fact that people wanted to see me do it. Just make sure that's not stuck with... Okay. Anyway, I'm just rambling. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I'm just letting you know I've got ideas. This is a Makume Gane. Most people know how to do those. But it's still a cool technique because it's so versatile as well. And I enjoy it. I honestly do think it's one of my favourite techniques. And I actually think I'm going to go with this heart again just because I love it. So... Or am I? Or shall I go with a different shape? Let me see what this one looks like. And that's another thing. You can play around. You don't have to make a final decision. You can do what I'm doing. See what looks good with what shape. And I'm very strange when it comes to cutters. I love all of Joy's cutters. Do not get me wrong. but I get bored very easily, and I want different shapes all the time. So no, that's not going to look right with the butterfly, I don't think. No. I'm going to go back to the heart idea and just pop that there like so. Give it a good push and a little wiggle. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I struggle to know what to do next sometimes because I might have an idea to do something, but if I'm not in the mood to do that particular technique or design or whatever, I procrastinate from it. I get to do it eventually, but when I'm in the mood for it. So that's why I kind of revert to chippy choppies and makume ganes, because you could always do something cool with them, and they always come out looking different. So, but I had this idea to show you what I've been working on for tutorials, my next idea, so to speak, or just what I've been working on in general. And I was going to show you, and in the comments you could tell me whether you'd be interested in seeing it. I don't know how that's going to work out. That might irritate me after a while, like 1,000 people saying yay or nay, but we'll see. But I've been working on this one piece, well, this one technique, and this is just a prototype, obviously, but would you be interested in seeing how I did this? Just put yes or no in the comments. I mean, you can comment other things as well, obviously, but I just thought it was a bit of an idea that would, I don't know, get you involved a little bit, maybe. But that's a piece that I've been working on. If you'd like to see a tutorial on that, then comment yes. You don't even have to comment no. If you don't want to see it, you don't need to say anything. If you'd like to see it, just say yes. Alright, so there's that. But anyway, that was me going off at a tangent. Back to these. So they're all the pieces I've made today. And I've still got this left, so I can still do a few more things. But I'm actually thinking I might do a bangle with that, which I'm not going to show you today. Although I do have bangle tutorials, so you can always revert back and then watch one of those and then just apply this technique to the bangle. Alright guys, I'm waffling on here, so I'm going to go and bake all these pieces. But just a quick recap. The first one is just very thin shavings taken from the first cut that I did. This one is a pendant as is. I didn't take any more shavings off it. I just left it alone as is this one. And then this one has just got shavings on it as well, and I've blended it all onto black. Obviously you don't have to do these colours and you don't have to do black, but the whole point of me doing this video was because people actually wanted to see which colours I used. So there you go, they're the colours I used. And I'm worried about this one because sometimes I burnish a bit too hard and it causes it to stick, which it has done a little bit, I think, but not too bad. So there we go. Oops, I think I might have to play with this one a little bit. Anyway, oh my gosh, I've got verbal diarrhea today. But there you go, they're the pieces. I'm going to go and put those in the oven, and when they're baked, I'll be back. Okay, they're finished and baked and resined, although I haven't done the backs yet, but I probably will, and I usually just resin and glitter the backs, and I do have a video for that showing you how to do that, so I will leave a link. So there's the first one, and I've just simply added a jump ring and a chain, and then this toggle clasp. So that's that first one. Then I did the round one as well, and I just did a pinch belt and a cord for this one. So that's that one. This one I sanded and buffed. I didn't resin it. This one's resined, and this one's sanded and buffed. So you can decide which you prefer. So there's that one. And then I did that other one, which is a little heart. Again, just a pinch bow on a cord. And again, this one's sanded and buffed. There's that one. Made quite a lot of pieces, didn't I? And then with the stuff that was left over, I made this one as well, and this one's resined, and this has just got a silver chain and a toggle clasp. All these things are in my Amazon storefront, link in the description. And I did some earrings to go with that, and again these are resined. And I just did a jump ring, added a little flower charm, and then the earring hooks. So there's those. I'll try and show you a bit better. There's those, and they're resined. So that's a little set there. So that's them. Okay, and then I made another pair of earrings, but what I did with these ones, all the clay that was left over, all the different colours that I used, I just mixed them all together, and it gave me this really nice dark silver colour. So I made some earrings. I obviously did the same thing, just put the little shavings on there to make these earrings. But you know what, I love these so much, but I don't wear earrings. I'm actually tempted to turn these into pendants so I can keep one of them, because I just really like them. And they're sanded and buffed. And then I'm just going to quickly show you one that I made from a previous one that I made in a previous stack. And same thing, except on this one I left some of the background around the flower, and again just burnish that on. Then these are the little shavings around the edge, and that's just got a silver chain and a toggle clasp. Alright guys, so there are all the pieces, quite a lot of pieces from that. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye.